A very good evening and welcome to this Sunday's edition of News First Weekend, coming to you live from our News First studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at your stories making headlines this evening.
Grievances of the people of the North placed before UN Human Rights Chief. Former President speaks on current ministers. Case to be filed against suspects including Yoshito Rajapaksa following investigations. Driver who stood against private bus extortion mafia attacked. Sri Lanka's Kimiko Rahim sets a new South Asian Games record. Sri Lanka's gold medal tally increases to 8.
Before we take a look at our top story, just a reminder to our viewers that you can join in the conversation on tonight's news on Twitter by following at Newsfirst_EN and using the hashtags featured on each of our stories tonight. And now the stories in detail. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Zaid Rad Al Hussein, who is currently on an official visit to Sri Lanka, embarked on a tour of Jaffna and Chinkamali today.
Upon arriving in Jaffna, Prince Zaid Rad Al Hussein spoke with relatives of missing persons who had converged on either side of the road. Thereafter, the UN Human Rights Chief met with Northern Province Chief Minister C.V. Vigneswaran. The meeting lasted for about an hour. The discussion was focused on disappearances which took place during the war, political prisoners, the welfare of widows in the north and resettlement. Following discussions with the governor of the northern province, Espali Hakkara, Prince Zaid Rad Al Hussein spoke to the media.
I look forward to continuing my visit now. The discussion very much focused on the challenges the province faces, but also the plans and the achievements in connection with this region and the people who aspire to see more information in terms of those detained and those missing, as well as the issue of the release of lands. These discussions will continue, of course, in the course of today, tomorrow, and in Colombo with the highest officials of the state. I'm very satisfied with the discussions I had today.
We give this statement to you.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights also took part in religious observances at the Nallur Kovil. Prince Zaid Rad Al Hussein concluded his visit to Jaffna following an inspection of the Chunnakam Sabapati IDP camp. During the inspection, the UN Human Rights Chief went from door to door inquiring into the well-being of the residents. The locals who gathered at the camp's community hall presented their issues to the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights.
The next time I come, I will not be visiting the welfare center, but I can come to your individual home.
The United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Prince Zaid Rad Al Hussein, who is in the country on a 4-day official visit, concluded his final stop for the day, the IDP camp, discussing the pressing issue of the large number of internally displaced people in the country with the residents of this IDP camp.
Later in the evening, Prince Zaid Rad Al Hussein met with the Chief Minister of the Eastern Province, Hafiz Nazir Ahmad.
Now, speaking at a public meeting in Kurunegala, former President Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed his views on the arrival of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights to Sri Lanka.
මානව අයිතිවාසිකම් කොමිසමේ සභාපති මුණ කුමාරයාද හුසේන් කුමාරයා මේ හුසේන් කුමාරයා ඇවිල්ලා දැන් බලනවා මේවට සාක්ෂි.
The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Prince Hussein, has come here and is looking at the evidence. If the war was still ongoing, Yoshita wouldn't have been imprisoned. We wouldn't have any trouble, and neither would we have to go to commissions. Neither would Gotabaya. We would all still be here. Today some have got together with the UNP and have formed a government, and are sitting on the opposition and are raising their voices in objection for the sake of it. Some of the ministers who are with me are now talking as if they have never seen me in their lives, nor even there under my government. They raise their hands in consent for everything in cabinet. So these are the same persons who are now praising Maithripala Sirisena and misleading him. They are the ones who have launched this program to take revenge from us.
Minister of Law and Order Sagala Ratnayaka says that once investigations into the 5 suspects, including Yoshita Rajapaksa, are concluded, the documents to file action against them at the High Court will be handed over to the Attorney General.
In a communique issued by the minister, it is said that investigations into charges of acts of money laundering as well as the misuse of state resources by the CSN channel commenced on the 15th of March 2015. Minister Sagala Ratnayaka says that the suspects, including Yoshita Rajapaksa, were arrested after a further 20 reports were presented to courts and an order was issued to arrest them. Preliminary investigations are being carried out with regard to the initial capital of the CSN channel, which amounted to 234 million rupees, as well as the source of the capital. It has been revealed that while the initial number of shares issued by the company was 700,004, the value of the shares was 7 million rupees. Minister Sagala Ratnayaka says that based on police reports, it has been revealed that the remaining initial capital had been funded through questionable transactions and had been remitted to CSN from foreign sources. The communique states that accordingly, the company records do not appear to accurately reflect the manner in which the actual funding was made for the initial capital investment. The minister states that it was based on these revelations that the suspects, including Yoshita Rajapaksa, were arrested and produced before the Kadwala Magistrates Court. In his communique, the minister further states that in addition to the charges made above, investigations are being conducted into the falsification of documents, criminal breach of trust, misappropriation, offences committed under the Customs Act, violations of the Companies Act, as well as the misuse of state resources. Minister of Law and Order Sagala Ratnayaka reiterates that there has been no influence from the President, the Prime Minister or any politician or official into the investigations being carried out.
Speaking at a public meeting in Kegol, the Janata Vimukti Peramuna expressed views on the arrest of a group including Yoshita Rajapaksa.
Yoshita Rajapaksa was arrested, and since his arrest, they have created a huge issue and are screaming about it, calling it political revenge and that it is the family that is facing the brunt of it. But this arrest was made following investigations conducted over a long period of time, during which several statements were recorded. And in the end, it came to the conclusion that there was a large fraud which had taken place at CSN, where a sum of 234 million rupees was spent as startup capital to launch this channel. But no one could understand as to how they got that 234 million rupees. This money was not legal. It was black money. Who invested this sum of money? No one knows. These were quite clear, which is why the arrests were made. But during which era was their political revenge taking place? It was during the tenure of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Not even 2 weeks after the elections, the entire army stormed in and took Sarath Fonseca away with no questions being asked, put him behind bars and then questioned him. But that is not the case now, is it? They make arrests now in a very respectable manner. Vimal Veeravansa is screaming so much against the FCID because they are the ones who are next in line. Since the arrest of Yoshita, they are afraid of the FCID, which is why they are screaming so much. When the thieves are being captured, it is quite common for the thieves to scream, asking not to be arrested.
Have we forgotten?
Accusations levelled at Jagat Balapatabendi, former chairman of the commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption.
Jagat Balapatabendi Mahatmya.
During his tenure as a Supreme Court Justice, Jagat Balapatabendi had come forward to issue the verdict in a case involving the assembling of vehicles in Sri Lanka and had granted permission for 145 vehicles to be assembled here. He has obtained one of these assembled vehicles from the vendor or the person involved in this transaction and had used this vehicle. However, the revenue license and other documents are in the names of different people.
වෙනත් අයගේ නම් වලට ව්‍යාපාරික කළා.
The JVP lodged a complaint with the Bribery Commission regarding this matter. However, the complaint was rejected.
අපට අලුතරම දැනුවත් කරේ නැහැ.
At the very least, they did not even inform us if the investigation had commenced. We found out through the media that the chairman is still in his position and has not even initiated an investigation.
ආරම්භ කළවත් නැහැ කියලා.
අපි සවිස්තරාත්මක තොරතුරු සහිතවම තමයි
We lodged the complaint along with comprehensive information. However, the chairman of the Bribery and Corruption Commission rejected the complaint while in his position. Under the previous administration, the Bribery and Corruption Commission did not even make inquiries from us, the complainants, regarding why we had lodged this complaint. We questioned the current government on this matter too. I raised this issue in Parliament recently since they have a responsibility to ask us the reasons for this complaint at the very least. The current government has a responsibility to reconsider this complaint.
ඇමීල පිළිබඳව යලි සලකා බලන්න.
Have we forgotten?
A bus driver who stood against the private bus extortion mafia has been attacked in Balangoda.
Private bus companies claim that the owners, drivers and conductors of the 20,000 private buses operating in the country have fallen victim to extortion cartels. Accusations have been raised that no matter how many complaints have been lodged with the police, steps have not been taken to carry out raids. There are unofficial extortionists. We see the timekeepers at the provincial transport authorities as the official extortionists. In spite of receiving a monthly wage, these timekeepers continue to take money from us. As a result of being unable to personally protest against the situation, employees on private buses have resigned themselves to paying off the extortionists. Even the commuters are aware of this racket. Nevertheless, there appears to be no enthusiasm on the part of law enforcement to investigate the matter. Newsfirst cameras across the island captured this footage today of extortionists collecting money from bus employees. A private bus driver on the Colombo-Babdula route was attacked by thugs in Balangoda last night for refusing to pay. He is currently being treated at the Ratnapura General Hospital. 3 or 4 days ago, they demanded payment and asked why the money had not been paid. Since I paid it every day in the past, I said that we had been told not to pay. The next day, as I disembarked from the bus, they beat me on the arm and spine. The owner of the bus also spoke to Newsfirst regarding the extortion mafia.
My bus operates on the Badula-Colombo route. We have to pay 2,500 rupees per day to the extortionists. I had informed them to limit this. This attack had taken place after they stopped making payment in the Balangoda town.
Bus owners claim that many have left the industry due to the lack of response from the authorities to this problem. What is almost unfortunate is that the number of extortionists is increasing daily. The private bus industry is deteriorating every day. We have informed everyone, including the Inspector General of Police, on numerous occasions. In spite of that, the extortion continues. We are being forced to pay a total of about 150 million to the extortionists every month. That amounts to 5 million a day.
It is common even for commuters to witness intermediaries demanding payment on private buses. Are the authorities aware of this? We posed this question to MAP Hemachandra, the chairman of the National Transport Commission.
These brokers are the biggest menace to the bus industry. It has come to a situation where several bus owners are abandoning the industry as a result. I received a 3-page letter last week. This letter mentioned that the money collected from the bus companies and on-board buses is given to 2 brokers. One company pays 150,000, the other pays 100,000. This is for 2 people. As soon as I received this letter, I asked the OIC of the Maharagama police to immediately look into this. I informed the director of the CID and addressed a letter to him requesting that he deploy his officers to investigate this. I have received information that the CID is already taking action in this regard.
The Newsfirst Explorer team filed the following report during a visit to the ancient kingdom of Lanka.
The Sripada pilgrimage season has commenced. Pilgrims can travel to Nallathanni via Avisawala and Hatton to reach Sripada. However, we are not making a pilgrimage to Sripada. We are going in search of another sacred foot. About 6 kilometers towards Hatton on the Avisawala-Hatton road, you reach the Pitadinaya junction. Turn right at the junction and about 1.5 kilometers later, you will reach Thimbiripola. This is the historic site that we came in search of. This area is called Thimbiripola. Since the queen of King Rajasingha was born in this area, it was known as Thimbirigaya and later came to be known as Thimbiripola. Folklore states that the king designed this relief of the sacred foot when the queen was struck by an illness during pregnancy. The queen wished to make the pilgrimage to Sripada, but given her health it was not possible. So folklore tells us that this relief of the sacred foot was placed here to enable her to make a shorter pilgrimage. At the same time, the Department of Archaeology says that since this relief does not display the signs of the sacred foot, it could possibly be the foot of Rama. However, this is what is mentioned in folklore. There is no written evidence regarding this site. The Siripa Ganga flows alongside this site. We are attempting to cross the river and visit King Rajasingha's cave. My father used to say that this was the cave where King Rajasingha was in hiding. Some say that the Arahant Malyadeva visited this cave. It is said that a white snake comes here to provide security.
Minister of Plantation Industries now in the United States that the fertilizer subsidy system for tea smallholders has been improved.
The minister attended a meeting held at the auditorium of the Nuwara Eliya District Secretariat. We will provide the fertilizer subsidy for tea smallholders. There is no doubt about that. I clearly state that we have already very systematically created a way of sending it straight to the bank accounts of the tea smallholders, and that will be implemented from March. Therefore, we do not need middlemen. Certain people are smashing coconuts these days. I need to mention that coconuts are under my purview as Plantations Minister, so we will provide them with coconuts to smash. The Coconut Authority and Research Institute have plenty of plantations from which to supply coconuts. There is no need to steal.
A drinking water project in Divulgahapura Matala area was rested upon the public today.
This project was handed over to the area residents under the auspices of Minister of Housing and Construction, Sajid Premadasa. This is the latest record the joint opposition has made. They are going around making announcements that they are going to sign a major public petition against the hunt of soldiers. What they're trying to do here is to make false claims, stage acts to deceive the people and gain political brownie points. I would like to ask the joint opposition, where exactly are these soldiers being hunted? I can proudly say that today the international community will not lay a hand on our soldiers. Today the international community will not take our soldiers to the headsman's block nor to the electric chair. The government of good governance has saved all our soldiers from these fates.
The investiture of prefects of the Sri Saddhatisa Sunday School at the Sri Dharmashrama Viharya in Manathamulaburella was held under the auspices of Minister of Finance Ravi Karanayaka.
Western Provincial Councillor Jayantha De Silva was also present for the occasion. We have steered this country towards an era which abides by the law. Even though it has been difficult to implement the law which had crumbled back then, we have commenced doing so. At a time when we are trying to completely wipe out political interference, if in any case there are such reports, let us know and please show the society about this change.
අධ්‍යාපනය ලැබිලම මදි.
Being educated alone is not enough. You also have to be knowledgeable on Dhamma. No matter what we do and no matter how we spend and earn wealth, there is no point if a child has no education. Many of us know that in certain areas either the son or the daughter attack their own mother. If you do not know how to treat your parents right, it doesn't matter if you are the president. You have to respect your parents.
An almsgiving to invoke blessings on the late Venerable Madhuluave Sobhita Thera was held at the Kotre Sri Nagavihara today.
This almsgiving ceremony was held in view of the third-month death anniversary of the late Venerable Madhuluave Sobhita Thera. A group including Speaker Karu Jayasuriya took part in the almsgiving. Another almsgiving ceremony to invoke blessings on the late Venerable Madhuluave Sobhita Thera was held in the Divulapeti area in Buralaskamuwa this morning. He was someone who made the turning point at the most crucial time of this century. However, he could not see the outcome of that. We are yet to fulfill those aspirations by 100%, but we are working towards it. However, he was the one who made the turning point. His demise is indeed sad, but if we can take over what he initiated and continue with his work, we can transform it into a positive event.
The announcement of the production of the feature film Solar Eclipse Death of Darkness was held in Colombo yesterday.
The feature is an action-packed conspiracy theory set in British India during the period between June 1946 to April 1949, where India moved away from its secular and religious tolerance policies to a dark phase where violence had become the way of life. Incidentally, a part of the film will be shot at the Science Studios Ratmalana, a subsidiary of the Capital Maharaj organization.
I read the script to this film and I really loved it. And the producers contacted me because they thought that this is a picture that might be of interest for me to handle in Sri Lanka. And we are proceeding to shoot the film. First day of shoot is tomorrow. It is an action-packed thriller. It's got a lot of action. And it's a very a film about the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi, but the actual assassination is only a small part. But it is what created the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi and the conspiracy. That is what's most important. It's a thrilling film.
I have been involved with the project for almost a year, and I know that the producers have worked on it for over 3 years, and I know also that they have great ambition with this film. It is an action-packed feature that has an interesting backdrop: the assassination of Gandhi. Over the next few days, we shall try and create magic on cinema. I hope when that magic reaches the cinema and all the festivals, it will be as well received as it deserves.
An event organized jointly by the Road Track Club of Achievers Lanka Business School and the Road Track District 3T2 North named Conquer Colombo was held in the Nelumpokuna premises today. Conquer Colombo is a scavenger hunt which includes a wide range of activities to be carried out across Colombo, and the participants were also given a chance to explore the city of Colombo. The teams were presented with a set of clues which they had to solve in order to get to their destination to complete the set of challenges. Around 1,200 of guests, including Rotractors, Interactors, Rotarians and international guests, participated in the event. Kimiko Rahim of Sri Lanka clinched gold and broke the South Asian Games record in the 200 meters backstroke event on day 3 of the 12th South Asian Games. Sports first Nadishan Maiden brings us more on day 3 of the South Asian Games from India.
Jeevan Jayasinghe won gold in the cycling event held this morning. He won gold having fended off stiff challenges from the Indian cyclists. Tusharika Priyadarshini won bronze in the 40 km cycling criterium event. It was the first medal for Sri Lanka in today's schedule. Jeevan Jayasinghe claimed the first gold medal of the day for Sri Lanka in the 60 km cycling criterium event, while Navin Ruchira claimed third place. Umeria Mohideen claimed third place in the 58 kg category of the women's weightlifting tournament, while Indika Disanayaka won a silver in the 69 kg category in the men's tournament.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of News First Weekend. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.